35 already, Manuel Neuer, who's 37. But what I found interesting was an interview after the game against Darmstadt when Manuel Neuer was asked whether he ever had that situation when he, during his rehab, when he thought, well, maybe I should just not do it anymore. Maybe I should just stop and take it easy and end my career. But he said, no, that was never really an issue, never really something he thought about, as he's so competitive, as he has still so many goals, and as he wanted to come back real bad. And here you can see the sprinkler turn up. Nobody knows why that happened. Min-Jae Kim, the central defender, who's part of 13 games this season. South Korean who arrived from Naples in the summer. So that's a very interesting form of practice now with 4 goals involved. And 1 player in blue, a couple of players in orange, and a couple of players who are just wearing the black practice shirts. And having the players play in different directions is always interesting. And you can see there are 2 goals marked in orange, so those are the goals for the orange team who are trying to score into the other, and they are pretty successful doing it. Monitored by the Professor Holger Broich and Sona Manzurolu in the back, who's always running around with that magic box of his. There's a laptop in there where all the data is being gathered, because every player is wearing a GPS device. So Sona Manzurolu always has all the data about sprints of the player, about intensive runs, about the ground they covered. And we were talking about this earlier when we were talking about Leroy Sané missing in practice today because of the management of his workload. All those data is so important, because then you only realize how much the players are actually working and whether they need a break or not. Löw up front. That was a bit of sloppy from Thomas Müller, who is always so competitive in those practice sessions as well, always trying to win, but that's the same with the other players as well. And the interesting thing about the man in blue, Leon Goretzka, in that case, is that he always gives the team that has the ball a numerical advantage, as they are 6 against 5 then. Well, this drill looks a bit more straightforward with 2 goals only, and the goals slightly bigger. Not as big as a real football goal on a pro level. But as far as I can tell, the goalkeeper is not allowed to handle the ball. He can only parry the ball with his head or with his body as such, and without the hands. But as you can tell, the players are only allowed to use the ball volley. So players are summoned to a different stage now, where looks like they're just changing those stages, moving from one to the other, with the mascot Bernie. Was also signing autographs. De Ligt, who just fell short, as Daniel Perez was able to block that one off. Last-ditch defending, but nobody there this time. And this time here, Joshua Kimmich in the blue. Practice jersey, giving the team on the ball a numerical advantage. Alphonso Davies, the goalkeeper, here in that drill. And Harry Kane obviously scoring one. Another headed goal by the prolific Englishman. Here's Matistel starting the next attack for the orange team. Good defensive job by Daniel Perez, who's also able to score. It's all about quickness, about playing with the few number of touches. You can hardly see a player touching the ball more than 2 times before passing the ball. It's more like a maximum of 2 touches on that drill. And that's it for this part of the drill. And you can see the joy of the winning team, the orange one, this time, as Holger Broich blew the whistle, as he is in charge of the warm-up program. But there's definitely more to come, as we are right around 30 minutes into this open to the public practice session, I beg your pardon. Right in between this 8-0 victory of Bayern in the Bundesliga against Darmstadt, and ahead of a very interesting and challenging 10 days with the German Football Federation Cup coming up on Wednesday. Then the game at Dortmund, before Bayern will entertain Galatasaray at home at the Allianz Arena in the Champions League. Speaking of the Champions League, obviously you can always take your calculator out and think, well, maybe they could or couldn't they. Currently Bayern is up, leading the group by 5 points. And as they play Galatasaray next, they could pack them back right around to 8 points. And as you don't know what Manchester United is actually doing against Copenhagen next time, as we've seen, the Parken is for sure a real tough place to go. We've seen that in the game when Bayern was playing there. But it could be that Bayern could be up by as many as 8 points after the next group game, and that would be enough for them qualifying already. So generally speaking, if Bayern wins, they are through to the knockout stages. But we'll take it one game at a time. I'm sure Thomas Tuchel wouldn't like me to talk like that, because he'd say, well, we have to play the cup game first, second round against Saarbrücken. We have to play Dortmund first, and then we'll think about the Champions League. That's probably, to take it one game at a time is the only real way to go about things. With the schedule, where the games are coming thick and fast, like they pretty much always do with Bayern Munich, particularly in the first part of the season. This time no goals, it's just about the ball movement and about raising the intensity level a bit. And this 7 against 6 with one player in blue. And a drill like that practices so many things. General movement, obviously. And then you have the ability to know where you pass the ball before you even receive the ball. As you have to be really quick in your decision making, and then you have to be quick in executing the decision and playing the ball sharp, quickly, directly to your fellow player, avoiding, obviously, playing the ball to your opponents. Here's Manuel Neuer being warmed up. And now it's Daniel Peretz's turn. With Michael Rechner giving the goalkeeper bit of instruction work there. bit of special attention to Daniel Peretz and the way he went about catching those low balls. Back to the 7 against 6. I'd say it's a bit of a Rondo 2.0 version, maybe. And the good thing about getting the light blue jersey is you're always on the ball, no matter what, like we just saw when Leon Goretzka was dispossessed. He still kept possession in a way. This pretty much is about understanding that it is about the movement, no matter what. Whether you got the ball or not. Obviously, when you have the ball, you can relax a little bit. If you're not the blue player, that is. As he is always in motion. Good camera angle, this one. Leon Goretzka wearing that brace on the left hand. So that's why he has that special role, because you don't want him to fall on that hand, obviously, after breaking it. Finding solutions, getting out of trouble with only 2 touches. And that's a pretty good perspective on that particular Rondo drill. So that's the end of that one. A couple of more light blue jerseys are being handed out. And now on to another stage with Rafael Guerrero. Still trying to find his way into this season, really. After his injury at the start of the season, he played 45 minutes against Leipzig, and he played not completely half an hour against Münster, but And he was injured again at Leipzig, at that Leipzig game. And that is really unfortunate, so it's good to see him back. And let's just hope that this time it is for good. And that he won't injure or won't get injured again so quickly. So the players getting the instructions. Now we're on to the next drill with two, no, it actually are three blue players this time. So it's going as far as an 8-3, 8 against 3, with all the blue players involved. Keeping the intensity high, giving the players a feel about some pressing situations with the ball and without the ball as well. Thomas Tuchel being the observer in that practice session so far. He's been obviously talking with his coaching staff about the drills that are being held today. So he gets an impression about how his players are doing. Better so than being involved in those drills. Slight break in play. As the camera panned in on Thomas Müller, and now Dayot Upamecano, who is also back after his hamstring injury. Thomas Müller, who played in 8 Bundesliga games and 2 Champions League games so far. Scoring once, assisting 5 times, as Mathys Tel and Dayot Upamecano are assessing the situation. Choupo-Moting, the man in the corner. Always ready to receive the ball from Joshua Kimmich, who wrong-footed Dayot Upamecano this time. Harry Kane, such an impressive start to his Bayern Munich career. Goretzka. Wasn't a pretty good run before breaking his hand. And we're back at the goalkeeping department again with Manuel Neuer and Daniel Perez. So 2 drills each before they will change. So it's laying flat on the ground first, getting up and playing that 1 against 1. Neuer the Wall, that's one of his nicknames, and that's probably the perfect drill to show that. What are the outfield players up to as they're moving from one stage to the other again? So it looks like this is going to be now slightly bigger game maybe with the big goals as well. Right around 14 players left, I think I'm right in saying. So there are no more light blue jerseys, or only one for Leon Goretzka maybe. Thomas Müller shouting some instructions that make Thomas Tuchel laugh. So maybe it was a bit of banter about bragging rights or something. So let's see how that one will unfold. So we got 2 goalkeepers. We got 5 players each, 5 outfield players and a light blue player, which is Leon Goretzka, I think I'm right in saying. So that is more of a normal game as such. The 7 against 6 with 2 goalkeepers on a slightly smaller pitch, but with those big goals still. With the Manuel Neuer side sporting those red colors. And the Daniel Peretz side in black. And what makes this so interesting and so intensive is that as soon as the ball gets out of bounds, there's another ball being thrown into the game. So in order to relentlessly always keep on going and keep on going, here's Thomas Müller. And Bonassar rescuing things. Off the crossbar from Thomas Müller. And Franz Kretzig missing the target. Franz Kretzig, who had such an exciting start to the season in preseason, scoring in the friendly, on the Asian tour. And as he's only 20 years of age, we really can look forward to his development. So far, he was amassing 310 minutes this season. 3 games in the Bundesliga with 51 minutes, and then German Football Federation Cup with almost 18 minutes in there, where he was part of the first game for 79 minutes, scoring a goal as well. And the light blue shirt really is a good solution for a problem if you have like an odd number of players and you don't want to leave a player out who is substituted every now and then for one team or the other. Just give him that specially colored jersey and make him available for the team that is in possession. It will make things interesting because of the odd number anyways, and then you give this particular player a special role. That was a good goal. Matis Tell. He's always scoring goals, isn't he? And you can also, maybe if a player is slightly injured, like Leon Goretzka with his broken hand, or if he is in a special role, like he's your midfielder, but you want to manage his workload or whatnot, then giving him that special role where he maybe is also not subject to tackles from his opponent, then this will definitely solve a couple problems that you might have in your normal everyday training life every now and then. As Thomas Müller hit the crossbar, I think for the second time running, but that's the goal assisted by Thomas Müller. And Tell again. Bit of a heavy touch. Very commanding shout from Manuel Neuer. Torwart, goalkeeper, that's what he shouted. In order to keep everybody away from him. Leon Goretzka. Good header, but a great save from Daniel Perez. You can tell that this practice is definitely very intense for the players. It was pretty much without a break now for about an hour after that signature marathon at the beginning. Bit of a rugby move, this one, wasn't it? And Thomas Müller just wide. Here's Tell. Again! Just over the crossbar. Good job playing the ball out from the back. Goretzka again. Well played. Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting scoring. Scorer of 2 goals so far in our competition this season. Scored 1 in the Bundesliga, scored 1 in the Cup. Through the legs of Daniel Perez, Franz Kretzig. And again, Goretzka and Mathys Tell with the 1-2. But then the cross is a bit too heavy. Here's Tell again. And a new ball every time. Good save this from Daniel Peretz. Another good save. And third time lucky. Or third time unlucky this time for Daniel Peretz. But third time lucky for the red team. Very intense. I have to apologize as I haven't kept score in that particular drill this time. But I'm sure the players have. I'm very sure that at least one player has, and that's Thomas Müller, obviously. Charles Löw explaining